Hello, I'm Dr. Ella Ward, the chair of the Cornland School Foundation board, and I'm just so excited. We're at the historic site of where the Cornland School is going to be moved. So I am truly excited for Historic Preservation Month because we are really working hard to restore this historic structure that was built in 1903 for African Americans to go to school, grades 1 through 7. This was the only school that they had in Norfolk County at that time. And I was approached about 12 years ago by Mrs. Wanza Sneed because she had located this school on their property. It was buried in the woods. It had a lot of trees and shrubbery all around it, and she wanted to save it. My goodness, and when I saw it, I went like, Wanza, do you think this is even possible? She says, it's got to be done, and she was so excited, and she got me excited. So that was 12 years ago, and in 2011, I had formed a board with the former superintendent, Dr. Nichols, and former Mayor Bill Ward, and former supervisor in Chesapeake, Sam Leary. We got going, and we got incorporated using some of the historic preservation members at that time, including Patti McCambridge, Sheriff Jim O'Sullivan. He was on our board, and I have to give him credit. Sheriff O'Sullivan and a lot of his deputies, they helped us to move the debris and cut the grass, which really was about 15 or 20 inches high, cut down some of the shrubbery so we could see the building, which was amazing. So we just had good support of trying to get this school renovated and restored.
Hi, my name is Patti McCambridge. I'm a former member of the Historic Preservation Commission, and now I'm on the Parks, Recreation, and Tourism Advisory Board. We're out here on Glencoe Street looking at the site for Cornland School and the historic village. I've been a member of Cornland School since 2013. At that time, we had hoped that we could preserve the building and possibly turn it into a museum. We worked very hard, earned the money to stabilize the building. The building as it sits right now, built in 1902, still has its original siding and rectangular nails. It has original flooring that is still inside the building that will be replaced once it is moved. It has a metal roof, and the original chimney for the stove that sat in the middle of the room. The Cornland School was a building that had 7 classes in one room. One teacher taught all 7 classes during the day. There was a potbelly stove in the middle of the room, which provided heat and also helped cook some of the meals that they had. The older students helped the younger students with their lessons, and the teacher also taught them practical skills like sewing, embroidery, knitting. The boys learned how to do woodworking and all sorts of practical application skills in addition to learning their ABCs.
But we wanted to make it a museum. That was Wanza's goal. So in order to do that, we knew we probably would have to move the school because it's located on Benefit Road, 2315. It's a very narrow road, very winding, and it's on private property. And in order to restore it so it could become a museum, it needed to be moved. So we're just thankful to the city of Chesapeake, and my being on city council helped with that. And Mike Barber, who is the director of Parks, Recreation, and Tourism, he liked the idea, thought it would be good to create not just to relocate and restore Cornland School, but to make an entire African American historical trail or African American heritage trail or Dismal Swamp village at Dismal Swamp, because so much of this land is historic. The Dismal Swamp itself, dug by either free slaves and African Americans who had been enslaved, some still were. The superintendent's house, that's where they paid their toll. The boats did for driving up and down the Dismal Swamp Canal. And of course, we want to make a visitor center so people, tourists, could come from not just Chesapeake, but all over to see what it was like for African Americans to go to school in 1903. And we're just delighted. We have 22 people who still live in Chesapeake who attended this school. And 2 of them are with us today. Miss Emma, and she's just a sweetheart, and Miss Mildred Brown. They went to this school.
Hi, my name is Mildred Johnson Brown.
My name is Emma Mitchell Nixon. Well, I was here from, from 2nd grade to 6th grade here at this school, Cornland School. And I had to walk maybe 7 or more miles to get here. And my feet and hands were so cold. and I had to walk further down the road to some more children that came here, and to their parents was I guess was their grandfather came to make a fire. And I was glad, this was the only school that I had to come to. Really emotional for me, to talk about. So you just had to do, what you had to do.
I started coming here when I was 7 years old, and I walked 4 miles each way, morning and night. And it was cold in the wintertime. We got here, my feet and hands were so cold. Had to put them upside the heat, but don't put your cold hands up against the heat. While the teacher was teaching one class, we would be studying. We would be studying for the next day. After school, we would, the teacher would dismiss, and we would walk home in the cold, and the next day we would start doing the same thing. And that happened for the whole 7 years that I was coming to this school, until the last year. The last year we finally got a school bus, a worn out school bus. It was worn out when we got it, and it broke down every week. So we still had to walk. But anyway, I just thank the Lord for the education that I did get. I didn't get much, but I thank the Lord. I thank the Lord for the education I did get.
On Friday, we would have a program, and some of the children were singing, and on the program. Some had recitation, and then had exhibit. They would make things, and and place them on the wall. And then in May, we would have the maypole out there. Have the maypole. Yeah.
Unfortunately, Randy Sneed, who really owned the land where the school is built now and where it's standing, he passed 2 months ago. But he was very instrumental. So we've got Wanza, his wife, who started this process with me. And we're excited about, we're going to be opening up. The school is going to be moved late this summer. And we'll have the school, we have the superintendent's house, we'll have a visitor center, we'll have the Underground Railroad. And let me thank Delegate Cliff Hayes for getting $3 million to help us restore the school, but also to make this a historic trail. And to the city manager and Mike Barber for coming up with $400,000 to really initiate this move in the first place. So I am truly excited about the board chair, and I want to thank all those members of our foundation board. There are many. I guess I can't name all of them, but certainly our executive director, Mr. George Reed, can't be here today, but they are just really helping. Mr. Michael Malone, Dee Malone, Herman Ward, Monza Sneed, Ellen McGill, Patti McCambridge, and Ms. Lee Monco, and the Grassfield High School students who did an amazing job of interviewing those 22 students who still live in Chesapeake and are going to be really a part of this whole process. I am truly excited. And this is really Historic Preservation Month, and what better way to celebrate is to really see the plans for renovating, relocating this historic structure, the Cornland School. Thank you so very much for listening, and you'll be able to come out and visit our historic trail real soon.